I'm 61 years old and I just finished my master's degree. Now, 800,000 people in the US are awarded a master's degree every year. But why would I go back at this point in my career? In today's video, we're going to talk about 4 reasons why people don't go back and 4 reasons that I collected from cohort mates as to why they did take on this adventure. Hi, I'm Linda, and this is The Next Best Time, where we strive to live a life that makes our past self jealous. So if you're into things like bodybuilding or exploring our world or lifelong learning, I hope you find a home here. 4 reasons why people don't go back to school. Too old, too expensive, too busy, and too comfortable. Rebecca Klein-Collins, in her book, Never Too Late, The Adult Student's Guide to College, tells us that the average age for a master's degree student in the US is now 33. Adult students are now the norm in higher education. Of those 800,000 students per year, 14% of them are between 40 and 50, and there's 8% of them that are over 50 years old. Nola Oakes graduated from a university in Kansas with her master's degree at the age of 98. Now, she had set the Guinness Book of World Records for the oldest person to get a degree, period, which was her undergrad, when she was 95 years old. And then a Japanese man beat her out of that spot. But while she sat at that world record spot, she was invited to late night talk shows to talk about her adventure. Now, Nola lived until 106, so she used that degree a lot longer than some people I know, like personally, how long they use their degree. But I do understand returning to the rigors of college and taking tests and writing papers and going to class and all those things when you're really rusty at that can be a challenge. But other people are going through the same thing, and there are always people there to help. If you want to calculate the break-even point of the cost of a master's degree, which is anywhere between $30,000 and $120,000. If you're going to work for another 10 years, you need to make between $3,000 and $12,000 additional each year to break even, if that's what's important to you. I recommend that you leverage the reimbursement program at your company, or if you do what I did and just pitch that the enhanced skill set that you are going to gain from your master's will actually benefit the company. Very often they'll buy that and also buy your education. Shop around for the lowest tuition with that span of $30,000 to $120,000 per master's degree. There's a lot of variation, so take a look and see if you can find a degree program that's more economical. Sometimes empty nesters have already paid for their kids' education, so they may have the cash to send themselves back to school. Not gonna lie, going back to school takes a lot of time. You have to go to classes, you do have to write papers, you do have to do group projects depending on what your degree is, but it will take a time investment. So you do need to be prepared for that. You'll need to check with the people that you live with and work with to make sure that they're supportive. If they aren't, it's going to be an uphill battle. As you get into classes, actually find people that are supportive of you. It's great to find people that will text you and keep you on track and just generally support you. Most universities actually have fully online classes, especially at this point after COVID. My program was online, which was really convenient because it cut out the commute time. I didn't have to get to campus. It also allows you to pretty much attend university anywhere in the world. So it does help with the time budgeting. Sometimes the classes are recorded so that you can take them at your own pace. Sometimes my degree program, I did have to attend the online classes when they were live, which I actually recommend, but it does help when some of the lectures are recorded and you can fit those in when your schedule allows. I used to work with this guy who was smart, hardworking, and a great candidate for doing what I used to do, but he didn't have a degree, so that kept him back. Now, his life was complicated. He was married, had small kids, had some personal stuff that was going on that was very time consuming, and his job was very demanding. But I recommended that he go and take at least one class at a time so that he could work towards that degree. I can remember when I got a text from him on the day that he graduated, and it was one of the prouder moments of my life. I don't have an argument for this one. If you're content with the way your life is right now, there's nothing wrong with that, and I wish you Godspeed. There's really no reason for you to watch the rest of the video, but I hope you stick around anyway. So here are some reasons why people do go back to school. For current career opportunities, for a second career, for the love of learning, or the love of a challenge. Current career options. People are often looking to grow in their current career or potentially add to their resume in case they do need to go or want to go look for a new job. Second career. Many people in my cohort were actually looking for something to do when they retire or leave their current role. So it was a complete departure from what they had been doing professionally up to this point. Love of learning. There were people with multiple degrees. They were lawyers. We graduated with MDs. We graduated with people that had other master's degrees, and they just loved learning. There are many people that have a passion about learning and going to school and just love the challenge. This one's for me. I love the challenge. It keeps me engaged. It keeps me going to the end. I love a really good challenge, and a master's degree is a good challenge. And now for a little free advice. If you're thinking about going back to school, make sure you have a crystal clear why you want to do this. There are going to be some dark days. There are going to be people tugging on your time. You're not going to want to do it. And the cleaner and clearer your why, the more likely you are to finish it. This is going to tug at your finances and the very fiber of what you're doing as you're going through the program. But make sure that you and everybody around you understands why you're doing it. Get support from the people around you. You may need it from your employer if you're going to have classes that are either during business hours or require additional time from you. You need to get it from your family to make sure they understand why you're doing it. Make sure they are supportive, because if they are not, it's going to be much more difficult to accomplish it. Not impossible, but it will be more difficult. And there are always other options. Going back to school and paying for education is not the only way, and may not even be the best way to learn. But it does have one differentiator. It does have that credential that employers still like to see. You check for ads on LinkedIn or anywhere else, and they'll either ask for a degree or a preferred master's, and sometimes even a required master. So you may have learned a whole lot from life and from books, but without that credential, it doesn't hold as much water in the corporate world. If you do go back to school, I do recommend that you do walk the stage when you finish. Go to commencement, take your family, allow them to celebrate with you and to celebrate with the people that you went through school with. Whatever you decide is best for you, know that I'll be in the sidelines cheering you on. If you've gotten value from this video, I hope you'll stick around for the next one that is being recommended right here. And always remember, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the next best time is now. See you next time.